Hi, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. Take a look at this great quilt behind me. Isn't this awesome? I just love it. This pattern is actually inspired by our friend Shay Henderson from the Empty Bobbin, and it is just beautiful and just so quick and easy. We call it broken bars. And to make this quilt, what you're going to need is a fat quarter bundle like this. See all these beautiful bundles? The fabric behind us is called Patchwork City. It's by Elizabeth Hart for Kona. And it's just, you know, these colors are just amazing. They're so bright and happy. And it's so easy to do. So let me show you how to do this. I'm going to set this over here. And we're going to use some fat quarters. Now, fat quarters are the original pre-cut. This was before any kind of 10-inch squares or 5-inch squares or jelly rolls. We had the fat quarter. The fat quarter is actually a ½ yard cut at the fold. So it's a piece of fabric that is about 18 by 22 inches. It's just like this. And the way this pattern works, it's based on 10-inch squares. Or 10-inch strips, I mean. So I'm going to lay several of these down together. I'm actually we're going to have to cut these going the short direction. So I'm going to take these and fold them in half like this, because we're going to cut them into 10-inch strips. So I'm going to lay a couple of these out here, fold it this way, and so this right now I have 4 layers, and that really is plenty to cut through. So I'll cut through a few of these, and then I'll cut through a few of the others. So I'm going to straighten up my line here, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to scoot this over just a hair. Straighten up my edge, and I'm cutting these in 10-inch strips. All right, there we go. Now we have two sets of 10-inch strips, and I'm going to cut a couple of more because this is just so fun when you get going. Things like this for me are really freeing because I tend to be kind of an in-the-box kind of girl. You know, I like things. I just like them orderly and kind of the same, and so this is a little bit freeing. It's a little bit out of my box, and so it's just kind of fun to show you guys how to do this. Again, I'm opening up these fat quarters. I'm unfolding them and laying them so that the longest part of them is directly in front of me, like this. And I'm going to stack them in a little stack. And then I'm going to cut them into 10-inch strips. I'm going to scoot this over, make sure everything's flat under here. We don't want any folds or anything like that. And I'm going to come over 10 inches and cut again. And come over 10 inches and cut again. So I'm at 22, I got to cut at 12, there we go. All right, now the fun really starts. So we're going to open up these strip sets right here. And I'm going to lay these in, let's see, piles of maybe 4, 5. It really depends on how sharp your blade is and how, you know, how strong your cutting arm is. So I've got my 10-inch strips all running this way. Okay. So what we're going for here is we're going for strip sets that are about 20 to 24 inches long, and you have to decide on a number because they all have to be the same, but they're all going to be 10 inches wide. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this little strip set right here that I've got piled up, and we're going to cut this, and we're going to cut this in random widths. So this is where the out-of-the-box part comes in. So I'm going to cut this first little strip set, and mine aren't all in the same place, but it's not going to matter because the strips are supposed to be all different sizes. So I'm going to cut one strip set here, and I'm cutting right there in the 2 line. I'm going to cut on the 3 line. I'm going to cut on the 1.5 inch line. I probably wouldn't go too much smaller than 1.5 inches, but I'm just going to cut these all different sizes. And basically then what you want to do is you want to just mix them all up and sew them together, just, you know, cattywampus, however you want to. So let's go ahead and cut some of these, and I think I'll just leave that one big. So then these can all just like go in a bag or a pile or something, because you just want to mix up all these colors and cut them in random, you know, sew them together randomly so that you don't put any two fabrics right next to each other. So let's take a look at some of these I've sewn together here. So here's this right here, and it's the beginning of a strip set, and I have another one right here. And basically you're just going to put your strips together just like this. You're going to sew 1/4 inch right down the side, just like this. Let's go to the sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how we're going to sew these together. There we go. All right, so we're just going to sew right down here. And then we're going to iron this open. This is just one of those fun and freeing quilts that, you know, it's just whatever you want to do. It's no rhyme, no reason. But what we're going for here is we want to make a strip set that is, you know, you want to decide on a number, but you want to make sure that they're all the same. So say I decide that I want my strip set to be 22 inches long. So this one is 22 inches long by 10 inches wide. All of my strip sets are now going to have to be that. So this one right here, it needs another strip on here. So let's say I add another strip on here. Let me just go ahead and add, I'll add one of these pink ones. And I'm going to put this right sides together just like this and sew this back, because this is an important part of what we're doing. So I'm adding this pink strip. There you go. And now what we're going to do, let me get rid of some of these threads right here. Boy, there's a lot of those. There we go. So now we're going to iron this open. Now if we have decided that 22 is the length we want to end up with, then this is now the really important part right here, is we're going to cut this to 22. So we're going to lay this on the 0 line, and you can see right here, this is the 22 line right down here, right down the middle. So what I'm going to do then is I am going to go ahead and trim this at 22 right here. Now there's a reason for this. You know, some people may wonder, can't you just do the, you know, the whole long row? You really can't. It gets crazy wonky. So what we do is we sew these sections together like this. They're all different sizes. We'll line them up like this and sew these sections together. So once you get, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sections together, that actually makes a row. And I know you can't see this, so I'm going to show it to you because this will surprise you. So here's where our seam line is, right here. See how it comes right through here, all the way across here, and that's where we put these seams. So we have one row of this together, we're going to put this row together, then we're going to sew these 2 sections together, and you only sew 4 sections and your quilt is done. And so it's really one of those really fun projects where you just sew strips, you cut them into 10 by, I decided on 22-inch segments, whatever you want to do, and it just works really great. So at the Missouri Star Quilt Company, we like everybody to make a quilt. And my grandson Noah works here with us, and he fell in love with this pattern, and so he recently made his first quilt out of this pattern, so I want to show it to you. Noah, come on in here. So this is my grandson Noah, and this is his first quilt. We are very excited about this. Let's hold this up. Take a look at that. Isn't this great? I mean, he just loves it, and I just think it came together so cool. So Noah, when you started doing this, what was the thing that surprised you the most about sewing? Because Noah can cut. He cuts fabric. You know, he's really good at the rotary cutter and that sort of thing. But what was it that surprised you the most about sewing, do you think?
Well, it was probably the difficulty of actually using the sewing machine.
Oh yeah? So what happened with that?
Well, I couldn't keep my seams very straight. You know, it took a little while to get that down.
That control?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's really cool. It's always interesting to me to know what is the hard part. Now, one more thing I want to show you about this pattern before we quit is we've made it in solids, and Noah made it in solids, and it looks beautiful. But I want you to see what happens if you make it in a regular printed fabric. So we have one here, and look at this fabric. Is this not gorgeous? So take a look at this quilt. This is Parson Gray fabric. It's called Empire for Free Spirit, and it's just beautiful. I love all the texture. I love all the different designs and patterns, and it's beautiful. So no matter how you make this quilt, whether you use a beautiful print or you use the solids, this is a wonderful quilt, and it just goes together quick and easy. I'm pretty proud of this guy that he made his own first quilt, and we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the broken bars pattern from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.